I want to get into sort of the whole, but you've obviously just mentioned a very big part of your life, and some people won't know the story about your dad. Are you happy to kind of share the age you were at and the impact it had? Because I think what's going to be very interesting about the conversation that we're having is that the perception is of a team that ruled the world, and you were White Hawks on steroids or whatever it was. You beat everything in front of you. But we're just beginning to see and hear, I know Lawrence did the book Boys of Winter, which for those who've read it was a fantastic sort of opening up of the people behind that success. And I think what you're trying to put together here is a bigger sort of chapter in that. But are you happy to share that story about your dad?
Before Ben does that, you said something a couple of minutes ago, and this is half the problem. Been with you guys a lot over the years at events and doing different things, charity, lights, on stage, camera, beer. Woo! Yeah, amazing. How are you? This is great. This is awesome, brilliant, fantastic. Yeah, great. But the reality is that's lights on.
Yeah.
It's no different to you and Sky Sports Alex. Yeah. You know, amazing, brilliant.
He played a long time ago.
That's a long time ago.
But
that's going to be edited out.
But without knowing, I guarantee you, it wasn't like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and I think everyone can relate to that. And it's not about saying that it's trying to be negative about it, but ultimately, it's brilliant and funny stories and it'd be fantastic. Off stage, right?
Yeah.
Well, there you go, back to reality. And I think that is half the problem, because people's point or perception of you when they see you is that snippet, whether it be with Mikey on here, or you on here on the TV, or Benji on Strictly, or doing whatever, and it's great, and me, MasterChef, wow, you know, whoa, followers. So it's all a load of bullshit, really.
Yeah.
You know, you go home, you've got what you've got, where you're going, what you're up to. And that's the sobering reality of everything. And Gloucester Rugby care, and Wasps care, and England Rugby care, and we all care. No one gives a fuck, really. And that's not me having a go at anybody. That's just the reality. You're next, you know, move on, right, on you go.
And I think that's very much what this show will probably shine a light on over the course of the next hour or so.
Benjo, sorry.
No, it's a really interesting point. It made me go off on different thoughts.
Yeah.
I always look at this in turning points of your life, and I probably can sit and look at different turning points in my life and say, well, I know when I got to those crossroads. In all honesty, I was an average rugby player, really. I was just fast. I know you're going to agree with me. Exactly. But
incredible athlete.
I just had a high work rate and I was quick, right? And I could communicate because I was deaf. Right. So I just turned it into my strength.
The 3-step was pretty impressive, though. Yeah, the 3-step.
But what made me overachieve was the anger and pain of what happened to my dad. Because I always knew, being that my dad would always want me to carry on looking forward. Although what happened to him and how he was killed, it was fucking brutal. It was brutal. And at 21, did I realise how brutal it was and the impact that it would have? No. Should I have gone through that at that age? No. But I'm not going to say I'm going to see it as the worst case ever. There's a lot of people that suffered a lot more. When you play for your country, win the Six Nations, win the Heineken Cup, go on tour. We had a good tour to go into that next season on top of the world to be the polar opposite in having your rug pulled from underneath your feet. When you lose a parent, and the way that you lose a parent, the way that I did, there's no goodbye, there's no final chat. You know, no matter whatever your last conversation was the last conversation, whether that's good or bad. Ironically, about 2 months before my dad's death, we had like a massive heart-to-heart, and he just told me loads of stuff randomly. And over dinner, and it was all very random, and it's very, very fascinating. And then literally just after that, the season started, got picked for England, and he'd gone to protect someone who was getting beaten up and got beaten to death himself. He was jumped by 7 guys who there was like a static cash machine. And he hit that, which has got a scar across his head, and they bit him all over the face. So like his nose, all under his cheeks. So here, we're like all bitten really badly. and obviously a lot of stamping and all that kind of stuff that happened. Consequently, from that, it's the ripple effects and suffering at the hands of other people and what happens. And to watch that ripple effects, how it impacted me, my mum, and which I won't go too much into, and so on, was something that I never really properly understood until probably when I was old and I started to, face it and understand it and talk about it. I would say I went off the rails, and but I would say that I've pretty much been on my own at that point. Since that point, I turned into an alcoholic for 12 years. So it was tough going until Wayne Smith came in.
What year was that?
I think after the Lions tour, I think Wayne Smith came in. And he called me into the office and said he gave me a job at Ultimatum, which I needed. I needed someone to hold me accountable. I was drifting. I'd lost. So they picked me up. He picked me up and put me on the tracks. And he had the ability to make an average player good, a good player great, and a great player internationals. An international player is world class. His attention to detail and how he got you to perform, not just as a team, but as a club, and how we all pulled and functioned in the same way, and pulled in the same direction. And I made 2 goals to be the best player in the world in my position and win a World Cup. And he gave me the tools to be able to do that. I was the first into training and the last out of training. I'd study all my opposition. I started to submerge myself into the matrix of it, understand the pressure points of the game, and got my Northampton place back, got my England place back, and got on the plane with these guys to Australia.
Yeah.